Since I'm a junior, everyone told me it'd be really hard to get into ISM. Seniors get priority, only about 60 kids get accepted. More juniors are applying than normal. All these were valid reasons why I should have been scared, and I was. Even picking out an outfit for the interview was stressful. But I saw how much this process would benefit me in the future, and I had to take the opportunity. I knew it would be challenging, and I knew it would be extremely out of my comfort zone, but I had to try it. Getting to learn so much about my career and meeting professionals who have experience makes me excited about this year. One of my favorite quotes about trying something new is, "If you want something you've never had, then you've got to do something you've never done," by Dave Ramsey. That's my quote. Stepping out of your comfort zone is the only way to improve, and I believe ISM will force me to step out of my comfort zone and achieve what I never thought I could. My name is Hayley OW. I'm an only child, which has been a big part of my personality. I enjoy being with people and love being in large groups, which I believe will be a good quality to have in the business world. I'm thoughtful, hardworking, and driven. I love to help people. I'm an NHS, NCHS, and I am a Miracle League volunteer in honor of my cousin Zachary. Zach passed away this year in October, but for his whole life he was confined to a wheelchair, unable to speak and unable to do anything on his own. He didn't give up his whole life. Which is the reason he is my biggest motivation to not give up when I'm faced with obstacles and to not let the little things get in the way. How he didn't allow his limitations to set him back is the same way I want to not let my age define me in this program. A big goal of mine is to find a job that I love to do and that gives me security. I'm studying finance this year, and until recently I want to be a financial advisor. However, finding a mentor that is a financial advisor became extremely difficult since compliance would not allow me to be around their clients' personal information. So I began looking at other areas of finance that would give me the opportunity to still work with people, but I have decided to keep my topic broad because when I go into college, I'll probably continue to change what exactly I want to do. So whatever career I get the opportunity to work with, I will make the most out of the opportunity. Reasons I would like to stay in the field of finance is that I am a math person, so finance I feel would give me great job security and it's something I could be good at. The requirements of being in most financial jobs are a bachelor's degree but preferably an MBA, certifications such as a CFA or a CFP, and continuing education courses to keep the certifications up to date. Having this extensive of a knowledge is crucial in what I am doing so that I will be able to get a good job right out of college and be more knowledgeable in my career. The more knowledge I accumulate through mentorship programs like ISM and in college and internships, the more impact I can make on the business world and those around me. A step that is necessary in order to make an impact is to gain experience with clients and business. And internships are a great way for me to have hands-on experience in my career while still learning. ISM has given me the opportunity to explore my options and learn more about my career early, meet professionals who will help me go the extra mile in my career, and really get a head start on knowing what I'm looking to do with my life. What I believe will get me to where I want to be at the end of the year, which is with experience under my belt and having learned a lot, is being optimistic and having perseverance. My goal is to become someone who sets big dreams and uses failures as lessons that push me to keep going. This class, I believe, will greatly improve my ability to step out of my comfort zone and help me a lot in the future. I'm looking forward to growing as a person through this class. The purpose of ISM, an independent study and mentorship class, is to expose high schoolers to their future and to gain a better knowledge on what they want to do with it. Through this class, we are given the opportunity to explore our options more in depth than most high schoolers could think possible. In my case, I would conduct a lot of research, interview professionals, and make contacts in the field of finance. Be able to have a mentor to walk me through the steps of being successful in my career. And at the end of the year, I make a final presentation to wrap up everything I have learned this entire year, which will obviously be a lot. Even though all the ISM students are individually working towards this one goal in our own chosen field, this class gives me an overwhelming feel of support. From my teacher to my classmates, we're all trying to achieve the same goal. Every goal Coach Goff throws our way, if it is at the business symposium where we had to meet and mingle and talk to professionals we had never met before, or go to UNT and sit in on college classes, which we all for sure haven't done before. Everyone in ISM is at the same place, and we are all going through the same challenges together. This class has easily been the most challenging class I've ever taken, because not only is it a lot of writing essays and researching your field, there's a lot required of you to make sure you are on top of everything, because if you're not, the only person is hurting is you. Research comes in many shapes and sizes. Research does not only mean sitting behind a computer and looking up articles and biographies. It can also come in the form of meeting people who have valuable insight on your topic. For myself, I personally prefer talking to people who have already experienced, in my case, the road to being successful in the finance industry. I feel that being able to ask these people direct questions and not only get facts but personalized experience on what the road ahead will look like is the most impactful type of research. Through ISM, we were required to contact at least 25 professionals in our field, and hopefully out of those 25 people, gain 5 interviews. I had the opportunity to conduct 8 interviews with people that are highly qualified in their field. All of the professionals I interviewed were in different fields, since I didn't know which exact field I wanted to pursue more in depth. All I knew was I wanted to work with numbers. First, I interviewed Craig Hardy, who is the CEO of Entourage Professionals. His job is finding employees for major financial firms and seeking out the best prospective employees. He was a great first interview because he is someone who interviews as a main part of his job. So not only was he a great person to network with in the future, he also helped me fine-tune my interviewing skills. My next interview was with Jacob Pokovitz, who is the senior finance assistant, who is the executive finance assistant at Hope Fellowship Church. Since he works for a nonprofit organization, he showed me a very different side of finance. Working with a nonprofit organization means a lot of donations to be counted and a very strict budget. It is definitely a direct opposite of corporate finance. Third, I interviewed my aunt, Carrie Scott, who is an investment advisor. She was a big influence on me going into finance because me and her have always had a good relationship, and when I told her about ISM, she was very interested, and we had talked about her becoming my mentor. It didn't work out because of confidentiality reasons with her company, Mount Vernon Investments, but our interview gave me a lot of information about finance and really helped me understand what exactly I was getting myself into. For my 4th interview, I met Robert Casey, who was a financial advisor at him and his partner's firm with Merrill Lynch. I had had some previous thought about possibly working as a financial advisor because I like talking to people and helping them with their money. Mr. Casey worked very hard to get to where he's at now. He is very passionate about his career and takes a lot of pride in working and wants to help his clients and the people around him. Mr. Casey was my first choice in my search for a mentor. However, after a few weeks of compliance, shutting down every option we had in order for us to work together, he was unable to be my mentor because I couldn't be given access to his clients' personal information and accounts. Mr. Casey put a lot of effort into trying to figure out a way to be my mentor. Unfortunately, it didn't work out the way we wanted it to. Next, I interviewed Glenn Smith, who is the senior vice president of a firm he has with his partner, Robert Casey. At Merrill Lynch, Mr. Smith worked extremely hard to get to where he is at and spends a lot of extra hours helping his clients and working overtime to reach his goals. He was very influential because he showed me a different side of finance that I would have otherwise not known, which is the beginning and how hard it is to make it. But with hard work, he made it, and that was motivation for me to not let difficult times get in the way. For my 5th interview, I interviewed Nick Kiprios, who is the CFO of one of my mom's customers, TTI Incorporated. He was very informative about the quantitative side of finance, and he also happens to do mentorships with college students, so he gave me a lot of helpful information about having a mentor. My 6th interview was with my dad's friend and partner at AIT, Harlan Dean. He started out in finance, but ended up going into law school and is now in corporate law. We talked about other jobs too, including private equity, and he helped me gain more knowledge about the different sides of finance, which is something I really want to know. Him and his wife also had a daughter who just got accepted into OU, so they informed me a lot about the SAT and ACT, what colleges look for, and what to look for in colleges. Next, I interviewed Dawn Blankenship, who is one of my aunt's friends. She is the Director of Relations at Brenham Capital Management and also went to TCU, which is one of my top college choices. We not only talked about TCU and her job, but she worked for 2 years in private equity and helped me get a better understanding of private equity and if it's something I want to do. Next, and lastly, I interviewed Tom Briscoe, who is a chief private equity and who's a chief administrative officer at Allen Knight & Co. He is insanely smart. He has an MBA and law degree from Harvard, and a bachelor's in computer science from Mizzou. He had a very tangled path and landed where he is now because of knowing people and networking. It's crazy to think back to my first interview and think of how far I've come. And that's proof that at the end of the year, I'm going to have changed so much because of ISM. And that's what we're all here for. Even though it is important, ISM is more about the essays and the interviews. It's about gaining a deeper knowledge and understanding about our chosen topic. A way we gain knowledge is by making our own original work where we combine our research with our mentor's experience and create a piece of work that will either help the community, help my mentor, be an invention, or a foundation work for future learning in my career. My original work was an outline of my app I'm planning to make called Millionaire in the Making. The app will be for teenagers, and its purpose is to help the community by guiding a teenager through starting off their financial future. Almost all, if not all, of teenagers don't know about their money and how to be smart with it. Before my junior year, I didn't know anything about money until I took classes where I learned more about it. That's when I realized that those who don't take those classes and learning about their money are the same ones who end up to their eyeballs in debt, getting divorced because of money fights, which is the leading cause of divorce, paying off their student loans 20 years after they get out of college, having car payments and mortgages when they can't afford either, and are unhappy with their lives because they can't support themselves or their family. When you start saving, investing, and forming good spending habits when you are a teenager, you can prevent those bad things from happening to you in the future. The goal of my app is to prepare and teach teenagers for their life ahead with money in order to set them up for financial success. On my app, there will be investment advice, savings tips, budgets, and how to stay out of debt. Most finance apps only serve one purpose, such as budgeting, stock market, or being a money tracker. However, my app, Millionaire in the Making, will have everything a teenager or anyone would need to know in order to have good foundations for a successful life in a very simple and easy to understand way. I had to do a lot of research in order to make sure everyone who's reading my app will be given correct information. For example, on my investment advice page, right there, I describe how to start and open a Roth IRA, and I explain what a Roth IRA is and how it operates. I had to research a Roth IRA and find out the facts about it, such as you can open a Roth IRA if you are working and have a steady income. So it's a great option for teenagers to start investing in something now, so the money will have grown exponentially from what you put originally, using the concept of compound interest. I had to research compound interest in order to figure out the best way possible to understand it, which is that compound interest is when your money builds on its own. Your money in a Roth IRA starts to earn interest on itself, then it grows exponentially on itself, giving you a lot more money than what you put into it in about 50 years. When you take the money out during retirement, you'll have way more than you put in originally. There are other great things about a Roth IRA that teenagers need to know before investing in one, such as when you put money into a Roth IRA, the money has already been taxed by things such as income tax. So when the money is taken out of the account, it's not taxed, and you get the amount you took out, not a percentage of it. This is a great benefit in comparison to other savings plans and investments, because the exact amount of money you see in the account is the exact amount of money that will be there when you take it out. So you won't be losing thousands of dollars due to taxes that you saved up on and built interest on. Instead, you get every dollar in there. Another important aspect of a Roth IRA is that you can only put in a maximum of $5,500 annually into it unless you make more than $183,000 per year as a household. Also, if you are over the age of 50, you can invest $6,500 annually instead of $5,500. Those numbers are things I had to look up because it is important to know the purpose and restrictions of a Roth IRA, that they are meant for those who are not extremely wealthy, while those who are extremely wealthy or make more than $183,000 annually can invest in other investments such as a 401k. However, I will only include a Roth IRA in the app because it is a great and easy option for teenagers to invest in and start having their money grow for them, so that 50 years from now, when they are retiring, they'll have plenty of money in their Roth IRA from years of compound interest because of how early they start investing. Another topic on my app is staying out of debt. Being a teenager means that soon you'll be out of the house and no longer having mom and dad's money to spend at will. You will soon have expenses to worry about, such as your own gas, food, and huge expenses that are coming up really soon, such as colleges, your own car, and an apartment. The easier thing to do is just take out a loan from the school or the bank and think you can pay it off later when you're making more money. However, how do you know you'll be making enough money to not only pay for your day-to-day living expenses, but also your bills you made years ago? Being in debt is a tricky situation to be in, and an even harder place to get out of. So my app gives advice on staying out of debt so that you can start your life out in the real world debt-free, making it so much easier to build your wealth and not always be having to pay off your debt. Not only is continuing to pay debt for years and years not fun and frustrating, it's also very expensive. Most people think that when you take out a loan for a car, let's say it's $20,000, you only have to pay the $20,000 you borrowed, right? Wrong. Every payment you make until you reach the total amount builds up interest over time. So instead of paying $20,000 for a car that's worth $20,000, if you make the minimum payment of, let's say, $300, you can end up paying $5,000 to $10,000 more than the original price because of interest. This is why I felt that discussing how to pay cash for large expenses like cars in college is extremely important for every teenager to know, because that could be a $5,000 difference of how much you spent on the same exact car. This applies for all purchases with a credit card or a loan from a bank, which are the same thing. The interest adds up, and you will eventually be paying way more than the original price of the item, which is why paying cash is a very important habit to make when you are a teenager. Another category I have is saving, including tips and fundamental aspects of saving. The page will have a survey that will determine your spending habits, such as, are you a spender or a saver? There will also be tips for saving, such as fighting temptations to buy a new shirt or other savings techniques to help cut down spending. Another feature is that you can set goals and reminders for yourself and what you want to do with your money and how you're going to accomplish it, such as make sure you eat at home tonight, or put 15% of your last paycheck into your savings account tonight, or save $2,000 by the end of the year. Setting goals is important because when it comes to saving takes a lot of time and money and willpower to not go spend your last paycheck on shoes. This is why starting and learning good saving habits is important and is a part of my app because of how crucial it is to learn these things while you're young. When you're a teenager, you often get pressured into going out to eat with friends when you're thinking, I don't have any money to go out. However, after your friends begging you for 5 minutes, you cave in and you say you'll go out and spend the money you really don't have. Then the week after that, you're at lunch in the cafeteria and you don't have any money left because guess what? You spent it last week with your friends on a meal you could have had for free at home. This situation becomes more difficult when you're trying to save for things like college and a car, but you keep accidentally spending your money elsewhere and don't even realize it. This is why I felt it was necessary to have a page meant for learning how to budget. Budgeting is necessary when you are a teen who has to live off a small paycheck, and yet you have all these expenses that you can't keep track of, and that is why my app has a page specifically for that. The page has a budget layout that allows you to enter in how much you can spend that month in different categories such as saving, food, entertainment, gas, and any other category you can think of. This page is meant to be very personalized so that you can make the plan that fits best for you and gets you on the right track for your goals, which is to pay for college and stay debt-free. Even though I had a tough time finding a mentor before Christmas break, I got lucky, and now I have a mentor with the help of my aunt, Carrie Scott, and her friend who has a daughter who had an internship with my now mentor, Louis Shaw II. He founded the company Jackson Shaw, which is a real estate development and investment firm in Dallas. He was an entrepreneur, and his company is known to have a lot of talented and trustworthy people, making me feel like this is a great place for me to be. It is not the exact career I was planning on. However, I spoke to the girl that had an internship with there for 2 summers in a row, and she said she absolutely loved it and how much it helped her. I cannot thank my aunt's friend enough for personally getting me this opportunity. In conclusion, ISM has opened doors for me that would have sounded crazy to the 14-year-old version of me. I never thought of myself capable of writing essays every week, interviewing people 30 years older than me, or working with a professional to create products of my own. Before the past year, I was always changing my mind on what I wanted to be, and I thought I wouldn't figure out before college. However, ISM has helped me make my own path, and it has truly been a great experience already. I am so excited to accomplish what I never thought I could. Thank you. How long was